Ooh. That's not good. I burped as soon as I pressed record.
We're off to a really good start right now.
Alright. Hello, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? My name is Jake Scheidel. This is a show about reality TV and friendship. Each week I talk about a certain reality show with my best friend, who is the only person on this podcast whose birthday it isn't today, Thomas Powell. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm glad to be part of an exclusive club. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you pointing that out.
Yep. It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you so much. That's really nice to hear. I've got a question for you though. Did you watch Survivor last night?
Certainly did. And Jake, I actually have a question for you in response to that.
Oh, what's that?
Did you get very drunk last night?
Oh yeah, I got real drunk. We went to like four or five different locations, and a lot of people were buying me drinks, and now my throat's all scratchy. So it's a good night. I didn't go to sleep until 5 a.m.
I hope you signed up for two hungover people talking about Survivor, because that's what you're about to get. I think I'm in better shape than Jake is, which is probably bad because I hold less responsibility to this podcast. Like, I'm not the one recapping things. So we'll see how this goes, but, you know. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and as a not very festive person,
St. Patrick's weekend 2.
Yeah, in Grand Rapids, I don't think anybody celebrated it the first weekend, though.
Oh, yeah. In Chicago, it started last Friday, and I'm sure there are still people drinking green beer today. Like,
oh, of course, yeah.
Like, a week and a half of St. Patrick's Day partying. It's just like, we get it.
These are the type of people that it's like, if St. Patrick's Day is midweek, so it's like, well, I guess we have to celebrate both weekends.
We just have to, yeah. This podcast I listen to, TBTL, the host always calls St. Patrick's Day and New Year's Eve. What is the phrase he uses? Amateur hour or something like that, or amateur night. Mm-hmm. It's like if you want to go hard, like let's go hard on a Tuesday when you have to work at 6 a.m. the next morning, because that
sounds like something an alcoholic would say.
Well, I mean, who's to say? So this
me
week,
right now. That's
you're not
to say.
You're not a doctor.
Yeah, and more importantly, I am not a Dr. President.
Yes. This week's episode is called "The Devils We Know."
Yeah. Like, come on.
We get it.
We get it already. Well, enough with these devils.
Get on with it. Enough
with these devils.
We start on the Brains tribe. Grandpa Joe, has a really bad cut on his finger. So Dr. President jumps in, because he's a doctor, you know, and he tries to help. So good for him.
I think it's very interesting that, like, it seems like other than Grandpa Joe, and Grandpa Joe might have his own issues based on the next time on Survivor that we got this week, but, like, the remaining Brain Tribe members that aren't Aubrey are all fucking sociopaths. Like, Not all of them. I would say Neil is good. I do not trust, like, Neil. I think Neil is a very good player, but there is something weird about him that I find very off-putting. Debbie is a fucking sociopath. I 100% guarantee that. She's a crazy person. And in Peter's talking head, he
Sorry,
basically like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, Dr. President.
Thank you.
In his Dr. Presidential address, he comes off like he's like, these people are all idiots. Like,
yeah.
So I have to try to endear myself to them and like pretend that I care so that I can get out of this mess.
You're a doctor, isn't like number one qualification that you care about other people?
Yeah, where it's like, and then he's like being like very nice to Joe, like it appears and is like, yeah, how does this hurt? Is there any pain? And I'm like, is this how he treats all his patients? Like, look at this fucking moron.
God,
I'm gonna have to try and pretend to be a person while I tend to him.
Ugh, who gets hit in the head and needs stitches?
Oh, I can't believe they're making me tend to all these fucking dumbasses. I guess I'm just gonna have to put on my person suit.
He is a reptilian, and that was why he is president.
Yeah, he's a Hannibal Lecter.
Neil Sadwaincoin, as I like to call him, says that Dr. President is a cancer, so he goes to look for the idol, and he finds the clue, and then the key, and then the idol, really quickly. There's, like, no drama at all.
Yeah, of course Neil gets an idol. I mean, it's not surprising, but, like, that makes him even more dangerous.
Yeah. That's why we were saying he's a contender for the crown.
Him and Sydney.
Yep.
I will say, though, I think Ty... I'm putting Ty in that category right now.
Yeah, we're not two predictions, so this is nothing official. Doesn't count towards your scorecard. But who would you want to see in the top three, or the final three?
That would be my final three.
Neil, Ty, and Sydney?
Neil, Ty, and Sydney.
Mine would be Sydney, Ty, and Scott.
Although
I could swap out Scott for Neil.
I mean, if I was choosing four, Scott would be in my four.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely my top four people. So we get to what we expect to be a reward challenge if we hadn't seen the preview for this episode last week.
Yeah, thanks, Survivor.
Spoilers. Jeff goes through his usual spiel. So I wrote... Spell the word spiel right now.
This is not a word I ever spell.
I know. How do you think it's spelled?
Schpiel.
No CH. But you got the rest of it right. I typed SPEAL in Word, and it was like, oh, did you mean a different word entirely? And I was like, no, I meant this word.
Is it just SPIEL?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't understand how Word couldn't have figured that out. Because
this is what I get for trying to spell it phonetically.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. I was like, oh, is there a CH in there? No? Okay. So then Jeff says, drop your buffs. And everybody's like, yay. Hooray.
Drop your butts.
Drop your butts. Get down to the ground.
It's me, Jeff Probst from, like, a Disney Channel original movie. Drop your butts.
DJ Jeff Probst. If I ever move to New York and become a DJ, that's going to be my DJ name.
That's an incredible DJ name.
Thank you. I'm going to have shows in warehouses. Are they called shows for DJs?
I mean, I think you could call them one.
I'm going to have a DJ show.
If you were a DJ, Jeff Probst, though, you would have to, while DJing, have a microphone and be, like, doing a running commentary on people that are at your show, where you're like, that guy is grinding up against that other guy. That girl seems like she's had too much to drink. Those people are obviously on drugs.
I would also have a rival DJ named DJ TJ Lavin, which is also a great DJ name.
Are you inviting me to be DJ TJ Lavin?
Would you please be my DJ TJ Lavin?
I'm very happy to be the Moriarty to your Sherlock Holmes with
yes.
Or also the TJ Lavin to your Jeff Probst.
Yeah, there we go. So Jeffrey Probst tells them that their original plan was to split them into 2 tribes of 7, but since that
I'm just gonna stop you right there. You don't know that his name is Jeffrey.
I would assume
it could be like Jefferson Probst. Maybe he's old money. Maybe
what?
Maybe he's an East Egger.
You bring up a good point. I was at a party the other night, and somebody said I was talking to somebody named Fran, and I said, "What's your full name?" Expecting her to say Francine. It's Francesca. I was like, "What?"
Learn something new every day.
Is it 1781? That's the
Francesca
was the most popular name.
Yeah, it's like if someone was like, "Oh, hey Tom, I know that your name's spelled T-O-M." I would be like, "That's where you're wrong."
It's Tom, not Tom.
They'd be like, "That doesn't mean anything to me."
It doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like there's a key bit of data that you've slept out of this. Be like,
there's underscores in it.
I'm not going to elaborate any further.
So the original plan was to split into 2 tribes of 7, But since that fucking idiot, Caleb, had heat stroke, he had to leave early.
Stupid, weak
God,
moron.
dumb idiot. Go to the ER, you dumb idiot.
Yeah, so that you can get a doctor who thinks all of these things while he tends to you.
So the new plan is for them to switch into 2 tribes of 6 and 1 tribe of 1, which is great. They've never done that before, as far as I know.
Yeah, this is a very interesting little gameplay twist.
Yeah. It was nice to see them, like, thinking on their feet, the producers, because it's like, oh shit, what do? We can't give anyone an advantage. It's like, gave the one person on the Braun tribe a very severe disadvantage and also a very severe advantage.
Yeah,
so,
it's like you have to suffer for this, and you can't, you're going to be behind on alliances for the new tribes, but you can't be eliminated this week.
Yeah. So, they all draw their buffs. The new blue tribe, which is called Chanlo, is Jason, Neil, Sydney, Debbie, Nick, and Michelle. The yellow tribe called Gondal, Scott, Ty, President Doctor, Grandpa Joe, Aubrey, and Anna, which means Julia.
I'm sorry, who? There
was
one person... No, there was one person whose name... I didn't recognize the name that you said.
President Doctor? Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, sorry, that's not... No, the one that you just said...
Dr. President.
Yeah, no, sorry,
excuse me. I'm so sorry. I confused him with his brother.
Yeah.
The president.
What if I called you Shidell Jake? How would you feel about that?
I'd be like, I understand who you're talking about, but that's definitely the wrong order.
See? Now you see where I'm coming from.
I get it. Excuse me. Dr. President. Grandpa Joe, Aubrey, and Anna, Scott and Ty on that team. Julia is exiled. She's a person. I liked this, that all of the girls from the Girls Alliance on the Beauty Tribe went to separate tribes, so we could, get to know each one of them individually. Because I think Michelle has brown hair and the other 2 have blonde hair. Is that right?
Anna, I believe, has brown hair, and no, Michelle's the one that got exiled, right?
Julia got exiled.
She has blonde hair. The other 2 have brown. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, the way that this would have been even better is if when she got exiled, Jeff Probst had gone, I declare her an outlaw! Like that one Robin Hood commercial for what looked like the most boring movie of all time. It was the Ridley Scott Robin Hood movie with...
Yeah, that looked dumb. That looked dumb and unnecessary.
It looked like the most... Like, what if we made Robin Hood really boring? Like, what if we made it the most boring? But I found out later that the guy yelling that about Robin Hood is fucking Oscar Isaac. He, wasn't...
Yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't a person you would recognize at the time, but I went back and watched it, and it was him. But that's one of the many... I was talking to my roommates about that yesterday because there's a commercial right now that is airing regularly for this movie called Criminal. It's airing during the NCAA tournament, and there is a part in this where, as it's the end of the commercial is wow, the tension's really ratcheting up with whatever this movie is. It just has Gary Oldman yelling at Kevin Costner, "Remember!" That's all it is. It's just him saying that word. And I was like, I'm sure somebody has made a 10-minute repeating video in the same vein that people did with I Already Work Around the Clock.
Yeah.
And I Declare Him an Outlaw. And even going back to the failed television show Skin, where Ron Silver went, his father is the district attorney!
The only thing I can ever think of like that is, I can never remember that movie that it's from, but, you want to shoot me? Shoot me!
Shoot me! Oh, yeah, it was with Kiefer Sutherland and, Eva Longoria and, was it Michael Douglas? I can't remember.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, it was Kiefer Sutherland going, "You want to shoot me? Shoot me!"
What was that movie called?
It was not a good movie, so I don't remember. Because I couldn't tell you what the Harrison Ford, Brendan Fraser one was called.
It was called The Mummy. The Mummy meets Star Wars.
Yeah. The only reason I remember the Robin Hood is just because it's fucking called Robin Hood. Like,
Yeah.
it's the title is what the movie is about.
We both saw Cloverfield 2 this weekend. Did you see the Huntsman trailer?
Oh, it looks so bad.
It looks so bad. So many of those trailers look just awful.
The most mediocre movie in existence.
Like, I don't think the first movie in that series was any good, and this looks so much worse. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, no, that's my opinion. One thing, going back to the 10-minute, where it's like this for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I like that was. It's become like a thing, like an observed tradition. Because initially, the only reason on YouTube that it would be this for 10 minutes is because it is crazy to think of this because it feels like it was a million years ago that this was true.
You can only
YouTube
have 10-minute videos,
they had a 10-minute limit.
Yeah.
And it's insane to think about that now. But like,
no, you know what? I think that people are doing 10-hour loops now. I think that's the new thing. I've seen that.
So it's like an extension where it's like
I don't think that 10 hours is the limit either. I think that's just, I don't know.
My favorite of all of those is
do it. I don't know.
There's one that's just the Becker theme for like, I think it's like for like a day, and I'm like I can't, like, if you really needed to extract information from someone by any means necessary, play the Becker theme to them for a day straight. They'll tell you anything you want to hear.
I believe that would be considered cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh, no. It's the worst kind of torture.
Can you recite it, the Becker theme? I don't think I know it.
There are no lyrics to this. It's just instrumental.
It's instrumental. Can you, like, impersonate some instruments with your mouth?
I would never do that to our audience. If you want to subject yourself to the Becker theme, like, just look it up. I'm not gonna be responsible for what happens.
Okay. I don't know that show or that theme.
It was
I know what Becker is.
Yeah, it was the Ted Danson. It's really bad. It was the Ted Danson post Cheers sitcom that he did, and
it actually ran for a while.
It ran for, I think, like 7 or 8 seasons, but it's terrible. It ran long enough to get into syndication. So but it's
which
really
is why
bad.
I've seen it. It's one of those shows that I only ever watched when, like, we would have a 2-hour delay for school. Yeah. And it would be like on TBS, and I was like, well, I guess it's like this or VH1 Countdown.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I'm watching Titus right now. I don't know why.
So the Gondal tribe, the Dr. President believes that he will make it to the merge, whereas Scott believes that he is at the bottom. Dr. President wants to lose the challenge so they can get Julia. Oh yeah, so Julia takes the place of whoever gets voted out. I don't know if we mentioned that. Aubrey says we have three brains, but with Dr. President that might be 2. Yeah, good point. Dr. President wants a beauty out to keep their numbers, and Scott mentions that the tribes might switch all over again, so don't get too comfortable, guys.
Yeah, Scott had a nice little talking head when he was getting to know his tribe mates, where he was like, I've played on 5 different NBA teams, so he's like, this isn't new to me. There's been a lot of times where I've had to reacclimate to environments against people I was previously competing against, where he's like, it's something that... I think that is honestly an advantage for him.
Yeah,
it's something that he had to do in his... Yeah, he was a journeyman in the NBA. It was something that he had to do. Like, he couldn't get too comfortable where he was working, so...
I want them to do... Did you see that documentary Netflix put out last year or two, whenever, about Mitt Romney when he was running for president, just called Mitt?
I did not.
Oh, it's really good. You should watch it. I want them to do a similar thing, but with Scott Pollard.
Did that documentary have anything about how they tie the dog to the roof of their car?
I think they skipped over that, yeah. I don't know why they would do that.
It's like the most insane rich person thing in existence there. I was like, well, like, no, where else would we put the dog? The dog can't be in the car. I mean, it would be insane for you to even suggest something like that.
They honestly should just get, like, a buggy car. Or what are those things called that you put on the side of motorcycles?
I'll say they're called a sidecar.
they should get a sidecar for the dog. And also a motorcycle. Mitt Romney should ride a motorcycle with his dog in the sidecar. If he had done that, he would have won in 2012, honestly.
No, yeah, if he had a sidecar... No, here's what would happen if Mitt Romney needed to go somewhere with only his dog and he had a motorcycle with a sidecar. He'd be like, well, I guess I have to leave the dog because there's nothing for me to tie the dog to. I can't tie the... There's no roof on this motorcycle,
and
so
God forbid I tied him on my own head.
Yeah, and obviously I can't have him shedding all over the sidecar, so...
Oh man, I feel like if Mitt Romney were like riding down the country road on a motorcycle,
that's a thing that would never happen.
Of course, it would never happen. But if it were, I feel like his soundtrack would be Bob Seger as opposed to like Bruce Springsteen, like any normal human being doing that.
Yeah, he'd be listening to. He'd be like, "Oh man, Night Moves."
Yeah.
Great track. This is the perfect song. No, sorry, Night Moves is actually like a decent song. He'd be listening to fucking old time rock and roll. He'd be like, "What a great rockin' song!"
I hate
and then they'd
Bob
be like, "Mr.
Seger.
Romney." Yeah, okay. Here's what I will say about Bob Seger, because I have a weird love-hate relationship with Bob Seger. I think Bob Seger's slower songs are like there are a lot of them that are quite good. And anytime that Bob Seger tries to be like rockin', it's the worst music.
It's like your dad. Trying to be
like he's
not like specifically your dad, just your dad.
Yeah, I think Night Moves isn't a great song, but it's a good song. But I really like really like Against the Wind, and I really like Turn the Page. I think those are both very good songs. But they're just like well written, like low key, just like kind of sad songs, and Catmandu is like one of the worst songs I've ever fucking heard in my life.
I feel bad bringing up Bob Seger because other than like Night Moves, I can't think of one song that he's done.
You can't think of Against the Wind? Or like Old Time Rock and Roll, or...
I mean, I guess I know these songs, but like they're not in the front of my mind.
The thing that's crazy about Bob Seger is Bob Seger has had like fucking 20 hits. Yeah. He's like Billy Joel in that I couldn't name a lot of the hits that he's had, but he's had a million of them.
Yeah. Bob Seger sucks. And...
Or like Chicago, like the combination of Chicago and Peter Cetera's solo career, where it's like, oh, they had 8 million hits, and only one song of those was good, and it was 25 or 6-4.
Yes, that's a good song. Whenever I hear that song, I think about like playing Rock Band, because that's a really fun song to play on that game.
Yes, it is, on Rock Band 3. Good one.
Rock Band 3. The third in Rock Band, the Rockest Band.
Yeah, Rockest Band, but, what would the Rock Band 4 be called then? Rock Band
I said
Returns?
that as a reference to our Bad Boys conversation, which I don't think we were recording for that.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, let's just get this joke out there, because I am actually proud of it, which is that I think that Michael Bay really missed an opportunity in the naming of the Bad Boys franchise, where they should have called Bad Boys 2 Badder Boys, and so when this third one came out, they could call it Baddest Boys. Also, Badder Boys would be Badder Boys, the second in the Bad Boys trilogy. Like, that would be in parentheses, and then Baddest Boys would be the final
Their
chapter.
subtitle would be in parentheses, because that's the kind of movie it is.
Except that they would split Baddest Boys into 2 parts. Baddest Boys Part 1.
It would be like, the trailer would be like a black screen, and then in white text, "the" would fly up, and then it would show another clip, and then "bad," and then another clip, and then "dest," and then another clip, "boys." Oh shit, it's the Baddest Boys, it's finally here.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I would be like, man, shit just got real.
Shit just got real. Welcome to Earth. That's a different show.
Will Smith said it, I'm just going to assume he said it in that movie.
Yeah, all of his dialogue from everything he's ever done. Remember in Independence Day when he was like, "My son, you weigh 7 pounds."
Yes, that was who could forget that iconic line?
And there's that other line.
Or when he said, "I guess we're in the wild, wild west right now."
It's the new millennium.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So the Chandlo tribe, first things first, Debbie shows Sydney the pull-up bar that they have, which is a branch and a tree. And Sydney's like, "Yeah, cool, alright, that's nice."
we get more. This is there's another scene in the episode of this, but like Debbie really creepily attempting to show off to people.
Yeah.
Like, she already did this with the juggling in an earlier episode of her being like, "Look at all these pull-ups I'm doing."
Yeah. I don't know. Debbie is annoying, but I feel like she's a good player. Like, there was this quote, she said that she's on the offense, not the defense. She always wants to be on the offense, not the defense. Like, that's a good mentality to have in this game. But God, when she's not playing, when she's just sitting around, I can't stand her. But she seems like a decent player. So it can't be all.
I absolutely agree with you because of one of the first conversations that she has when she's getting in with Sydney. Basically, is when the time is right, we're getting Neil out of here because he is a threat, which is smart. You should do that.
Yeah. Sydney says that Debbie seems authentic and motherly, which I guess I wouldn't use the word authentic.
No, she's fake
necessarily, but yeah. Then Sydney talks about how she grew up in Atlanta public schools and then went to Penn. So if that doesn't scream winners at it.
I didn't realize that she went to an Ivy League school because she's like, people, because that was one thing Debbie says about her is like, and like, you're obviously intelligent too, but she's like, a lot of people, just because of like my physical appearance, don't like, I think people assume I'm not intelligent, and she's like, but I went to an Ivy League school coming out of the Atlanta public schools.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
yeah,
Sydney's really cool, and I want her to win.
She is the embodiment of literally every tribe this season. Like, if she were put on any tribe, she would fit.
Yep.
Debbie then tells Sydney that she wants a woman to win this season, and Sydney agrees. I want a woman to win this season, too. And I want that woman to be Sydney. And not Debbie.
Yes.
Although it's not looking good for the ladies. Literally only one of the people who's been voted out so far has been a dude.
And it was the first elimination.
And it was the first one, yeah. And then Caleb, obviously, but he wasn't voted out, and he probably wouldn't have been. But hopefully Sydney can hold on.
She's playing the social game incredibly well.
Yeah.
And it's not even that she's really, like, calculatedly doing it. She's just, like, she's resourceful.
She's just a very charming person, yeah.
And she's, like, chill and cool. And, people
doesn't
cause
too much of a ruckus.
Yeah.
And, plays the parts she needs to play in any given situation.
That got Jeremy a win last year, so.
Yeah.
And it got Tasha to the final three, so.
Yeah. Over on the Gondal tribe, Ty is excited because I love Ty. He's excited about this tribe swap because there's a lot of opportunities to make new friends. What a great way to look at that.
I love him.
him.
Also love that him and Scott are immediately fucking besties.
I know. Ty says that 3 of him could make 1 of Scott. I liked that quote.
Scott says that he has a man crush on Ty.
He's like, I got a man crush already. Which took even less time than Caleb, which took no time at all.
Yep.
I'm so excited for when he finally meets the people he hasn't been on a tribe with yet at the merge, and it was like, he's just the greatest. It's going to be so sad when they vote him out.
The thing that I love about Ty is that Ty remembered the names of people that he wasn't on the team of. Like, he would be like, oh, yeah, no, Peter, yeah. And whereas everyone else is like, oh, hey, I'm Peter. Like, or like, I'm whoever.
Everybody said, hey, I'm Peter. And it was like, this is going to be confusing.
And it was really, this is incredibly weird. We're going to have to go with different names. But it's just really weird that, like, they named, that half of the contestants on the show were named Peter. I think that's just a really weird coincidence.
Okay, that's so funny that we should say that right now, because earlier when we were talking about Grandpa Joe, I always specify Grandpa Joe because it's not Hot Joe from last season.
Yes.
I want them to do a season like that where everybody has the same first name. Like, all returning players, though. Like, they must have had 18 Joes in their 32 seasons. So bring all the Joes back.
It's like there's, Jake and I have played a fair amount of board games in our time. And one of my dreams is to somehow rig a game. There's a lot of games that have traitor mechanics where you don't know, like, what someone's identity is. Mm-hmm. And to just have everyone be the traitor. And to see what a ridiculous shit show that game would be.
That would be so good.
My dream is our favorite card game is Bang.
Mm-hmm.
The dream is like basically the eventual goal for any of the like evil characters in that is to kill the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
So my dream is there's one character called the Renegade who has to be the last person standing with the sheriff, and then they can kill the sheriff. But they have to keep the sheriff alive until that point. So my dream is for there to be one sheriff and every other character to be a renegade.
Here's the problem with
happens.
that, though. So what is it like? If we have 8 people playing, then there's 2 renegades, right?
7 renegades and 1 sheriff. That's my dream.
Yeah, it would be great. Except for as soon as the third renegade dies, people will catch on to it and realize that every person is a renegade.
But that's as long as it needs to go.
I guess so.
That premise can't sustain a full game. It's basically like a goof. It's a goof 'em up.
But
prank.
the people we play that game with, that it would still go on for like 2 hours before 3 people die.
Yeah, no, because it would be people trying to be like, who are the outlaws? I don't know who the outlaws are.
I don't want to waste a shot.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Bang, first text me.
This has been our Bang podcast.
Honestly, Bang would be a decent game. Maybe there's a lot of visual components, so it wouldn't be a good podcast. Maybe a video podcast.
It would not fit an auditory medium well at all.
Yeah. It could be like poker, like World Championship Poker or whatever it's called.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be fun. I'll call Jeff Probst. He knows TV people, probably.
Get him, yeah, he knows. He can get us in. He's our pal, he told us.
So Scott already loves Ty. We've talked about that. They collect mangoes together. And then Anna talks...
Yeah, sorry. He like, lifts him up in the way
it's so
that,
great.
In the way that, like, Detlef Schrempf helps John Ralphio dunk a basketball at Parks and Recreation.
Yes, exactly. And then Anna talks to Aubrey about getting Ty out because of his whole idol searching in the first episode, or second episode, whenever that was. Over on Chandlo, Nick tells Jason that Sydney is cool as hell. Yep. Good call, Nicholas. And then he also says, when it comes to being manipulative, I'm the most intelligent person out here.
Wrong.
No.
And also, he's very bad at endearing himself to people because he comes off like a fucking creep.
Yeah. He's the Dr. President of the former beauty tribe.
100%.
Jason tells him that if you're on board with me, you're on board with Sydney. So Jason and Sydney are in a pretty good place. Both other pairs are coming to them.
Yeah, multiple people are coming up to them, dude.
Yeah.
So, garner their favor.
Yeah, so we've got at least 3 more episodes with them, probably. At the very
I would
least.
think so, yeah.
Which, Jason isn't my favorite. If we were on any other tribe, I would not be a huge fan of him. But since he's aligned with Scott and Sydney, like 2 of my favorite people, I'm like, okay, let's keep Jason around.
Yeah, if he's not doing anything blatantly obnoxious, like, whatever, I'm fine with him being there.
And then we get our one and only look into Julia's life on the Exile tribe. It's real sad. She wakes up shaking and dehydrated, and she's like, this is really hard for me. I don't think people realize that I'm a teen. Julia's 18 years old.
I immediately felt so bad for her. I was like, I can't imagine I was such an idiot when I was 18. How would I ever survive? I would die. I would literally die if I were in that exile and I was 18 years old.
You just keel over as soon as you draw the red box.
And be like, whoops, I died.
I can't do it.
I'm like the dumbest person on earth because I'm an 18-year-old. I'm sorry. I legitimately, and this is hyperbole, I'm sorry to anyone, if we do have any teens listening, like, you might have the same thought about, I'm just specifically talking about myself at 18.
I knew Thomas when he was 18, he was a big old dummy.
Yeah, like, I think once you get 6 years removed from being 18, you'll be like, man, I can't believe how dumb I was compared to, like, where I'm at now. There's a reason
honestly, still pretty dumb. I'm 25 today. I'm a real big dummy.
Yeah, we're talking degrees here. This isn't like, I'm not the smartest person on earth. I'm just like, the bar was low and I barely cleared it.
All right, so up next we've got the immunity challenge. But before we get into the immunity challenge, I wanted to mention something to you. This is a new segment called Real World Roundup. Whoop, 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 whoop. Did you watch The Real World?
Beep, 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 beep. Got breaking Real World news.
Breaking news. Real World's back. Did you see it?
No, I didn't fucking watch The Real World.
Oh, it's so
because
good.
I explicitly told you I won't.
Well, this season's called Real World, Go Big or Go Home, because, people got tired of them just going to a new city every time, so now they've got to have a theme. The theme starts with, the theme...
Jake, I'm gonna stop you right there. Did they have any wildlife shots on The Real World?
I don't remember, I didn't take notes.
Sorry, then I don't fucking care about The Real World. Get your head in the game!
I will say, there's some wild people on this show.
Oh my god.
There's Dean, who's going through a divorce. He seems cool. There's CJ, who's a lawyer.
Dean seems really cool.
He seems really cool.
Yeah, it's probably really cool, I bet.
CJ is a lawyer, and her dad killed her mom, and then got killed by the police.
His or her dad.
Christopher is a pansexual former Mormon. He seems alright. Sabrina seems annoying. Jenna seems annoying and also kind of racist. Dion seems annoying as fuck. Kayla says that she has a golden pussy, which was a big part of the episode.
Okay, you skipped over very quickly past two really,
okay, what do you
interesting
things. What do you have questions about?
Okay, the pansexual former Mormon. How's he getting along with everybody?
Really good. He's very charming. And he's got a cool look going on.
Mormons, despite all the weird shit that they believe, are generally very friendly people. So I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a former Mormon. He left the church.
Yeah, no. So he's got all of the skills he needed from being a Mormon, and now but without all of the terrible baggage that comes with that.
I think Jenna also said that she is a Mormon. I think she's still practicing though, or at least isn't a former Mormon. So they bonded over that.
Wait, there could be some friction there though, because he left the church.
Yeah. Well. We'll get into the friction with Jenna.
I was going to say also some friction because they might fuck.
Probably. Everybody wants to fuck everybody this season.
It's The Real World. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, but more than usual.
Oh, so this is just everyone is in heat and they're all going to start fucking.
Yeah. Well, they're in Las Vegas this season, so it makes sense. So Kayla, the one with the golden pussy, says that she's crushing on Dion, but Dion seems super uninterested. Also, Dion is the grossest looking person I've ever seen. I don't understand it. Sabrina, though, is also into Dion. And then that's when we get into some real good shit. And by real good, I mean fucking awful. Jenna is a very sheltered Southern Mormon. And she tells Dean and CJ that she doesn't know black people like them.
Yeah?
And if black people acted more like them and less like... I think she might have used the word thugs, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh my god!
She also used the term colored people.
What?
Yep. So Dean and Kayla leave because they don't want to listen to her talk anymore. But CJ hears her out, and comes to the conclusion that, that's just the way she was brought up. She's not actually racist, right, though? Right, you guys? So hopefully...
Oh my god, I'm looking at the cast right now, and Jesus Christ, Dion.
Oh, right? Yeah, he's...
What a fucking turd!
They all meet in the desert. Oh, this was their... So the theme is, they have to do these missions to stay on the show, and if they don't do the mission, they're replaced. So they met up in the desert rather than their house like they normally would, and he was wearing, a fur vest as a shirt, and then, super bright leggings, and, bare feet as shoes. I was like, I'm a crazy little jungle boy. God, stop it. I don't like him.
Get out of my face, you fucking hippie.
So, Jenna seems kind of racist, but also, sad. She's a sad racist. But Dean is forgiving because he thinks she's really hot. Also, they have those handleless segways that everybody calls hoverboards, even though they're definitely not hoverboards.
They're not hovering at all.
They're not hovering. They're segways. But everybody's super excited. They opened up this cabinet and they fell out of the cabinet and everyone's like, oh shit, it's these things. So this season looks promising, and I'm real excited for me to keep watching it and for you to also watch it. Thursdays on MTV at 10 o'clock.
I will not be watching it, but I will say I did not hate this update.
Yeah, I kept it brief. I purposely didn't take notes
Yeah.
That's all I remember from the episode. Oh, their first mission though, they had to. It was so cool. Everybody's so nervous about it. It was awesome. They just jumped out of a helicopter. Not a helicopter, a hot air balloon. They jumped out of a hot air balloon, but they were like strapped in, so it was fine. It looked so much fun.
All I could think of was just them being like, jump out of this hot air balloon. No parachutes. If you live, you live.
If you live, you get to stay on the show. If you die, well, I guess you'll be in your place.
One of the producers holding them at gunpoint, like, do it!
Do it now! We have to make this show interesting again.
Do it or your families die!
Hey, one of their families is dead.
Wow, a real somber moment there.
Yep. So the immunity challenge back on the real show, Survivor, Real World is a fake show. That's what I'm saying. So as the tribes take their place before the challenge, Michelle steps on the yellow mat until Jason reminds her by whispering behind her, blue, blue, blue. And Jeff laughs and says, old habits. And then Michelle says, Die Hard. Also, why has there never been a Die Hard movie called Old Habits Die Hard? I feel like that'd be the perfect title for the 6th one.
I mean, yeah, considering their last title was A Good Day to Die Hard, which is a stupid title, Old Habits Die Hard. Old Habits Die Hard makes perfect sense because
he's old now.
Bruce Willis.
But I looked it up.
Why aren't people paying us for any of these great ideas?
We've got great ideas for the Bad Boys franchise, great ideas for the Die Hard franchise, great ideas for the Survivor franchise, great ideas for the Challenge franchise.
Great ideas for opening a Denny's franchise, if I could just get the capital to do it.
I looked up the Die Hard movies because I was like, is there one? I feel like that might already exist, but there's not. The 6th movie, though, it's in production or about to be in production, is going to be like a prequel. It's like Die Hard Year 1 or something like that.
Wow, that sounds really stupid and I won't see it.
Yeah, I will see it as much as I saw every other Die Hard movie in theaters, which is not at all.
See John McClane before he became... Yeah, what is this going to do? Give him a backstory where it's like, you know how John McClane in Die Hard was like kind of an everyman who managed to step up in a crazy situation? Well, actually, he was a super badass.
Yeah.
Instead of just a cop who happened to be at a Christmas party he wasn't supposed to be at.
I don't know. I feel like Die Hard is kind of like my favorite Christmas movie.
Oh man!
Because it takes place during Christmas. Did you know? Did you know that? Did you know that Die Hard takes place during Christmas?
I just gotta say, when I think of Christmas movies, this might be a little subversive, a little edgy, but I think Die Hard.
I think it's got to be Die Hard.
I think Die Hard's my favorite Christmas movie. It's crazy, I know, right?
Who would have thought that this movie that everyone says is their favorite Christmas movie?
It's crazy because I'll be at a family gathering and they'll be like, what Christmas movie should we watch? And someone will be like, oh, It's a Wonderful Life. And I'll be like, no, that movie is 10 hours long. And they'll be like, oh, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'll be like, no, that movie's
9 hours long.
That movie's aged terribly. And then they'll be like, I don't know. We've exhausted all the Christmas movies.
That's all the Christmas movies.
That's where you're wrong. Because Die Hard, and they're like, Die Hard? But that's an action movie.
But you can't. There's no Santa Claus in Die Hard. Is there?
That's where... No, there's a guy wearing a Santa Claus outfit who's been shot to death, and it says, I have a machine gun.
My mom's favorite Christmas movie is Elf, and every time we are driving home after Thanksgiving dinner at my grandma's, she says, do you want to watch Elf? Because it's Christmas time now. And we all say, we knew you were going to say that. And she says, no, I knew you were going to say that. And I say, I don't want to watch Elf, Mom.
Why don't you want to watch Elf? That's a good movie.
I mean, I've seen it. I get it. It's fine. I mean, I enjoy that movie, but...
There's a point where, when they're in, the boardroom for his dad's company... There is a point where the people in that room is one of the best collections of talent I've seen on screen in anything. It's
true.
James Caan, Will Ferrell, Amy Sedaris,
and Kyle Gass,
Andy Richter, and Peter Dinklage shows up.
Yeah. That's a laundry list of really great people.
Yeah, it's perfect, by the way, that Kyle Gass and Andy Richter are a team in that, because it's wow, really comedically talented, underappreciated sidekicks.
Yeah,
those two.
Yeah. Okay, now I just want to watch Elf.
Yeah, you know that picture? It's a pretty famous internet picture of Wolf Blitzer on Celebrity Jeopardy. where he has like
Oh,
minus
yeah,
2,000.
yeah.
That
And Andy Richter is, like, killing it, right?
Yeah. That's the thing with that photo is nobody ever sees or like pays attention to who else is in it, which I get because Wolf Blitzer is failing so terribly, and it's so indicative of who he is. But if you look over to the far, I think he's on the left and Andy Richter's on the right. Andy Richter has like $34,000 and is like $30,000 ahead of the next closest person. Like, and it's a perfect metaphor for his career. It's like while you weren't paying attention, Andy Richter was over here being awesome.
Yeah, Andy Richter is great. I wish he was in more things, but he and Conan seem like they're having a good time over on TBS. Very funny.
Yeah. He had two very good sitcoms that nobody watched, and so he went back to hang out with Conan and be really funny there. So,
yeah.
And also, he's like one of the best guys on Twitter. Like, he's really funny on Twitter.
I do not follow him, but I see his tweets often enough because they are retweeted so often.
Yeah, because they're great.
Yeah. So, at the challenge, they have to collect some fish-shaped puzzles, hook them onto a thing, and move the pieces to a puzzle and do the puzzle.
I can't believe that they had a challenge where they had to, through some sort of difficulty, retrieve puzzle pieces and then make a puzzle. They never do that on Survivor.
It's real original. Well, these ones were shaped... They were shaped like fish, so it's a little different.
But this time, the puzzle is fish-shaped. That's really all they had. That's all they had. They're like, but what if they were fish? Sure, fuck it, whatever.
So it's neck and neck, and then Gondal takes the lead, and then Chandler makes up for that and takes the lead, and then they fall, and Gondal takes the lead again. But Chandler comes back and does the puzzle faster and wins.
Riveting.
Yeah. So Chandler wins, which is good, because I think I like that tribe more, even though Debbie's on it. But Debbie's fine.
I gotta say, both tribes are fine.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yep. Gondal, Ty knows that he's on the chopping block, but he doesn't want to play his idol. And Aubrey wants to take out Ty. Dr. President...
It's between Ty and Michelle. That's the two that...
Michelle's on the other tribe.
Oh, Ty... Is it, Anna. Ty and Anna.
Dr. President wants to take out Anna because she's a good player. Don't really follow your logic there. Still on the tribe.
He also... Yeah, like, his logic is bad for it, but Joe's is, like, better. Because Joe takes Aubrey aside and is like, well, Ty's, like, really nice and everyone likes him and he's like really helpful in camp.
Yeah.
Which probably shouldn't vote him off.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, honestly, if Grandpa Joe ends up winning, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, that guy's cool. I do honestly, like, throughout this whole thing, I felt really bad for Anna because through no fault of her own, she is up for elimination and she's going up against Ty, who is like the most delightful, helpful, likable person. Like,
yeah.
How can you compete with that? You can't.
So, Ty says that he does not like Dr. President. There's something arrogant about him. Ty's just checking all of our boxes.
Yeah, he's great. The thing that sucks is, like, because it leads to, he has a conversation with Scott and Anna where he shows them the idol and says basically that they could blindside Peter if they could get everyone to vote for... They could blindside Dr. President, the sitting Dr. President.
Yes.
If they get everyone to vote for him and he plays his idol, which means that it eliminates some votes, right? Like it would be down to...
Well, the way the idol works is you play it for whoever, and should that person receive any votes, they don't count, and the person with the next highest votes is voted out.
Oh, so they would all vote for Peter, and then Peter would get eliminated.
Right. That's the plan, until Scott checks in with Aubrey, and Scott learns that Ty is safe. So Scott realizes he basically has two idols now. He basically has a super idol. That's
the thing. That's the thing with Scott, by the way, that's really interesting, is Scott knows on both tribes who has the immunity idols.
Yeah, which no one else knows.
For if he makes it to the merge, that's really going to help him.
Yeah, so you gotta play it cool, Scotty boy. So he advises Ty not to play the idol, but now Ty is worried about being sent home with an idol in his pocket, which is a very embarrassing thing to happen on Survivor. It's happened time and time again.
It's like if you have a big boner and everyone sees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, I wish I were dead.
I don't want anyone looking at my penis. Before Tribal Council, let's talk about the wildlife shots.
I only processed one wildlife shot, but it was a wonderful one, and it was that monkey eating a mango.
Mm-hmm.
And they held on that monkey for a solid 10 seconds, and I was loving every second.
So there's the monkey, yes. There was a crab. There were some birds flying, which I tried to look up what type of bird they were, but I could not figure it out.
You were like, what type of birds on Survivor? And Google just said no. So the result was no, and you're like, well, I've done all I can do.
I think it was a type of heron. Heron?
I thought you said herring for a second.
I did on accident. I just mispronounced it.
It's a fish, dummy.
Fish and birds are one and the same. Monkey.
What if it were just a bunch of herring flying? They just had that as a wildlife shot, and they're like, just do
go
that
with
what
it.
you will. We're not going to explain it at all.
Did you see the water snake? There was a water snake.
I didn't.
Oh, that's a good one. And then there were two regular land snakes. And the best one, there was a fight between an ant and a centipede.
Oh, no, I do remember that.
That was pretty good. So then in Tribal Council, Aubrey says that the brains are sticking together. So Anna and Ty realize that one of them is going home. And I liked this little bit. Ty talks about climbing a tree and pulls up his shorts to show Jeff a scab he got. And Jeff is like, nah, I believe you.
I'm good.
I'm good. You don't need to show me.
No, I don't think you'd lie about this. We're good here.
And then Jeff asks Grandpa Joe about the idol, and he says, there's always a twist, and I think the twist this time is that there is no twist. There's no idol. And Ty is like, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I went looking for it, and people caught me, and I didn't find anything. Like,
and Jeff is smirking, what an idiot.
Smooth move, Ty.
Smooth move, X-Lax.
Dr. President says that there's no issue when it comes to the Brains Alliance. I wouldn't be so confident, Doc.
You're the only one that thinks that.
Yeah.
Because you're the asshole.
So then they go to vote, and Jeff asks if anybody wants to play the Hidden Immunity Idol, as he always does, and they hold on a shot of Ty for 4 times as long as they normally would on any other person who might play an idol.
Man, it's a real tough decision. You can tell because it seems like it takes him 4 hours to make it.
I love that. It's like Jeff isn't gonna wait any longer if he knows somebody has an idol. He's gonna give the people 5 seconds or whatever, but they just edit around it.
Sorry, we're just gonna take a little longer. We're just gonna take longer so that Ty can lick his lips for 30 seconds.
And then he doesn't play the idol. Dr. President gets the first vote, and then the second vote, and the third vote, and every other vote is for Anna.
I felt really bad for Anna because the play that they wanted to do would have been really good. It would have eliminated the person I wanted gone, and I don't think she deserved to get eliminated. And it just couldn't happen because Ty is too nice. It was a play that couldn't happen because Ty is too likable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that she was basically a pawn in their game. She didn't deserve that, but I understand why they did what they did.
I think the most disappointed, or the people most disappointed by Anna's elimination are the editors of this show. Because have you noticed that they're like, oh man, oops, another shot of Anna's boobs? 100% of the time.
Yeah. Was she the poker player?
Yeah.
Yeah. She mentioned how likable her boobs are in the first episode. She was like, I when I'm playing poker and I see somebody checking out my boobies, I'm going to use that to my advantage.
Good for you. I mean, she's not wrong. They're great boobs, but there was a point during the elimination challenge where she was the one working on the puzzle with Ty.
Sure.
No, it wasn't. It was with somebody. But anyway, I think it might have been with Dr. President. But anyway, they were working on the puzzle, and they kept cutting to these shots, overhead cam shots, right over her, where I was like, oh no. To the point that, like, you could see what, like, they had to blur one of her nipples, like, kind of slipping out a little bit. Like, it was like, come the fuck on, guys.
I guess. I mean, she never really struck me as, like, a super hot person, but I guess she was on the beauty team, so she was.
She's very attractive. She's hanging out on the island with no makeup, and I was like, wow, this is a very attractive person.
#no makeup.
Yeah, that's how I like all my women, and I will impose that standard on all of them, unless they don't fit my ridiculous standards, and then I will be like, put on all the makeup, except you look like a whore now.
So, let's go into predictions. Who do you predict to win?
I predict... I think I'm sticking with Sydney to win.
Same.
I think Neil is really good, but I think Neil might have some jury members come up against him if he makes it there.
I think that's a fair prediction.
And... yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Sydney.
Who's the next person to get voted out then?
That is a very good... I gotta go Dr. President.
You know what? Yeah, I said the same thing. So, cool. Our points, we didn't get any points this week. Either of us.
No points for us.
So, I'm still at 2, you're still at 1.
Couple of losers.
Alright. Final segment. Remember to use the hashtag Bananas on Survivor. Still waiting to hear from Johnny Bananas or Jeff or TJ or anybody involved.
Their silences are all deafening.
Yeah.
Jake, did you check the email this week?
You know what? As a matter of fact, I did not. I kind of forgot about it.
Please email us. We'll never read it.
I should make a note at the top of this Word document that says, "Don't forget to check the email before you read all of these notes and are recording the whole time." So we have an email. It's didyouwatchlastnight@gmail.com. Please remember, when you email us, to sign it with your pal Jeff Probst.
I would like you to email us, but part of me also is like, don't bother, we won't. Don't waste your breath.
You know what? I was going to do a really funny bit where, like, I was like, oh yeah, we got an email. But then it was like an email from Podbean or Twitter or something.
Why did you ruin this great bit?
I just forgot about it. Because I wanted it to be legitimate, and I wanted to read the actual email as it...
You could have just not said anything, and when we got one, you could have read it.
Well, now it's ruined. And...
yeah, whose fucking fault is that? Yours.
You should have brought it up.
I didn't bring anything up! You said this of your own volition with no prompting.
Email us at the email, didyouwatchlastnight@gmail.com. Also, there's a Twitter called @DEYWSLN. My Twitter is Jake Scheidel. We said Thomas's earlier in the...
You already know.
You already know. Facebook is also a thing. I have another podcast called the Crash Test Podcast. Check it out.
It's good. You should listen to it.
It's real good. We went out for my birthday last night at this bar/arcade and recorded there, and it's going to be a fucking great episode. It comes out on Thursday.
You could even call it a barcade.
Yeah, if you're a fucking idiot.
I'm the only person that's ever said that.
Yeah, because you're the only idiot.
It's a Tom original.
All right. That does it here on Did You Watch Survivor Last Night, Thomas? As always, have a great summer.
Yeah, deuces.
My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do, 'cause I'll never be with you. guess she caught my eye as we walked on by. She could see from my face that I was flying high, and I don't think that I'll see her again, but we shared a moment that will last till the end. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, it's true.
You fucking ruined it. I was
really
being
hard.
real subtle in my signals, and
I tried to.
I went deuces,
Oh.
pulled up a 2, and then me pointed at me, and then you were like, "What? I'm an idiot. I don't know."
Well, no, I couldn't. It was like this. I couldn't really tell what you were doing with your fingers. So I tried to remember what we did last week.
Yeah, you fucking moron.
Oh well. All right. Well, that's it.
I also want you to leave all of that.
Oh yeah, I definitely will.
Be parading
I'll
you.
put it at the end of the song.
People will listen to these last 2 episodes and they'll be like, "Man, tensions are really running high between those two."
What is going on?
Tom kept calling Jake a fucking idiot on his birthday.
It's my birthday. I can do what I want. Like, I can be called an idiot by whomever I...
What do you want? To be called an idiot by your best friend repeatedly. No one's gonna stop me from getting verbally abused.
Yeah, it's my
birthday.
I will cry if I want to.
And I really want to.
I really want to. I like it. All right.
I will never